Alright, hello everybody. I'm going to do a quick update on today's severe weather potential. So as you can see currently, I'm right now on the CONUS sector of, uh, what you call it? I'm on the CONUS sector right now for the SPC Mesoscale analysis page, and we're currently looking at several different features. We have a surface low, which is located in Nebraska at 998 millibars. This is expected to slowly drift off to the northeast, bringing heightened tornado risk into maybe Iowa later today, but the main low is developing like right here. Now as we move forward with time, actually that main low is in Nebraska right now. My bad. Apologies. As we move forward with time, this low in Nebraska is going to weaken a little bit, but it will regain strength as we get toward the middle of the day. The 1000 millibar center right now will probably shift. It'll weaken a little bit throughout the day as we get 2 hours, and then it'll strengthen as we get toward later in the day, and the main surface will develop somewhere central, north central Kansas, and will track to the northeast. This is 12Z surface analysis. Looking at our instability currently, we have 1000 McClure Cape in the northern sector and 1000 down south. Now I think the main thing that we're watching right now is for moisture, and we have a sector that can really depict the moisture in the area. So here was the 12Z 1220Z surface METAR plot, and we have 60s dew points across a relatively large area throughout this general region in here. So a big area with 60s dew points. There's also moisture pooling along the current low pressure. I see a couple 60-degree dew point stations up here as well. So moisture is expected to pool along the surface low, which will enhance the threat for severe weather there. Currently, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk for today from Texas, Oklahoma, up into Iowa. I would not be shocked if this goes in. I would actually be very surprised if this doesn't go enhanced risk in the next update, somewhere in here. This would likely be wind and potentially hail driven as well, probably significant wind driven. Currently, we have a significant hail risk out for a lot of areas. Don't be shocked if this gets pushed to the north, north and east as well. My bad. I just sneezes. There's also a tornado threat today. I do think the SPC has that 5 tour in the right spot right now, but I do think a 5 tour is actually possible down here later today. And the confidence in supercell initiation that's surface based is there. Now we can look at some of the HRRR guidance, but first we gotta look at upper air. So we currently have this 500 millibar trough that is going to eject over portions of Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa. There's this lead wave out in Minnesota and Wisconsin that could create a couple stronger storms today as well into Michigan. Maybe some hail out of those. We'll have to watch that. Not really too closely, just watch that. There will be some subsidence in Iowa until the main support arrives, so storms may not form right away. Storms will probably initiate somewhere in Nebraska and Kansas toward the evening hours. Here's a look at the latest HRRR run. This is the 11Z run. So it's firing off some storms in central Illinois today, this afternoon and evening. We'll take a look at those very quickly. Probably a hail threat with those, nothing too serious. Looks like there's some elevated stuff trying to fire off in Iowa. And here's the big stuff that fires off in western Iowa / eastern Nebraska toward sunset. 23Z is 6 p.m., taking a forecast sounding out in front of the storm. And we realize that the environment is very much favorable for tornadoes. It's also very favorable for hail. Thick Cape regime and a rather large one too. Lots of hail in the hail growth layer. Photographs that are relatively straight and elongated in the upper levels. This is a classic very large hail sounding. Now, I do think if a storm develops like that in the open warm sector, that will be a tornado producer. I do think the HRRR is still a tad bit fast. Shift this about, I don't know, 50 miles to the southwest, and that's probably where it'll be. HRRR has been really fast recently. As we get towards 0Z, surface moisture, the storm could go into surface moisture that does mix out a tad bit. But the environment in front of this, especially since this is probably going to be a matured supercell, is definitely favorable for strong tornadoes, and it looks like that supercell persists until 1Z could. Probably will be surface-based still. 2Z, maybe not so much. But as we get toward 1Z, it looks like our main wind threat is going to start to develop further south, and wind is going to be a very big hazard with those, along with hail. And then the HRRR upscale growths it pretty heavily. Let's look at the FE3. I think the FE3 is actually doing pretty good with today's evolution. It may fire too many supercells, but we'll take a look at it. I think it's got the initiation time about right. 22Z feels good. Now, it might initiate south a little bit too early. We'll see it initiates those at like 22Z as well. But raging supercells along the Red River into central Oklahoma and in the Missouri Valley as well at 23 Zulu time. And the environment in front of these is pretty significant. Lots of 3-kilometer SRH, which will create rotating storms. Probably a big hail threat with these as well. These eventually do go into a cluster, and then another cluster forms behind them. So several thunderstorm clusters do eventually form. That's going to do it for this short update for today. Stay weather alert if you live in Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, and Kansas, as a threat of severe weather exists in all these areas. Tornadoes, wind, and hail. Hail and wind will probably be the main threats, but you cannot rule out a few tornadoes, maybe even a stronger one today. Thanks for watching, and see y'all in the next one.